each pack that is included in this product will have a model text, and what's good about having a model text is that you can see how a text should look. For example, this is instruction writing, so this text should look this sort of way when you're finished. For instructions, you're basically telling somebody how to do something. So in this model text, it is how to trap a wild wolf. So when you get this pack, the first thing to do is to read through the instructions. If there are any difficult words in the passage, what I would ask you or your child to do is to underline them. So for example, as I scan through there with my eyes, maybe some words that my class would have stumbled upon would be a clearing. So I'm just going to underline that there so that I know I can look back at that later. Then as I look down more, I don't think there's anything too difficult in it. Maybe observation skills. I'm going to keep looking through. Yeah, so far that seems to be fine. And on the first day of looking at this text, what I would do is just have a discussion about it. Any difficult words that were underlined, maybe use a dictionary to find out the exact meaning for them. Anything like that, just to keep the children's vocabulary increasing, and that is also getting them reading as well, so you can ask them a couple of questions about it to make sure they've understood it. Then moving on to day 2. So on day 2 it says that you need to draw the text in pictures. Okay, so as I look at the model text, to show that I've understand what the text is about, I'm going to use these boxes to draw the text. So the first sentence says, if you have a wild wolf living in your area, then you need these instructions. So excuse the drawing, I'm going to do as best as I can, as quickly as I can. So if you were to draw a wolf then, as I said, the drawings don't have to be perfect, it's just so that the kids can show you that they understand it. So now excuse the drawing here, this is a terrible wolf. So if you have a wild wolf living in your area, so I'm just going to draw a house. It doesn't really matter if it doesn't make sense to anyone other than the child once they know what it is and they can repeat the text back to you. So for example, if you have a wild wolf living in your area, then you need these instructions. So we can just put the word you need these instructions, and sometimes for instructions I'll just do like a big piece of paper with some lines across it for instructions. If the kids know what it means, that's all that really matters. So then you would finish off the whole text using different pictures so that they understand, to show that they understand it. So I'm just going to quickly do that now. Anyway, so I haven't finished off the whole thing. I just want to give you an idea of what I mean by drawing the text in pictures. So I've just filled the first 6 boxes there, and the children should be able to recite back the text to you by looking at their pictures. Now I let them look at the words sometimes as well, so they should be able to say, if you have a wild wolf living in your area, then you need these instructions. No one wants a terrifying wolf living nearby, so read on so that you can scare off any wild wolf that is making your life a misery. What you need: a large sack, super sneaky footsteps, some good observation skills, a clearing near the wolf's den, a large sack of food. As you can see, I'm just rhyming off how to trap the wolf, and what this does is it helps the kids to get this way the stories are written, or the way the instructions are written, into their head, and they can start to piece together then their own story for when they go to write it. So after that then, I'm just going to pop that to the side. They will have this, which is to edit the text. Now the edit the text means that the children are going to be using the bones of the model text, which was the how to trap a wolf, but now they're going to write their own one, how to trap whatever animal they want. So it can be a make-believe animal, it can be a real animal, it can be a pet, it can be whatever they want really, whatever interests them. So when I did this with my class, what a lot of people ended up doing was how to trap a unicorn. And that's just because that's what they're interested in at the moment. Some of them wrote how to trap a Pokemon, some of them did how to trap a cow, just depends on whatever they're kind of fancying at the time. So I've kept in a lot of the writing here just to give them that bit of structure so that they don't freeze when it comes to writing by themselves. So here I have, if you have a unicorn, and they just fill it in there themselves, whatever animal they chose, living in your area, then you need these instructions. No one wants a unicorn nearby. And if they did an animal like a unicorn, and a unicorn isn't scary, they can take out no one wants, and they can put everyone wants, whatever like that, just so that they can start to write their own instructions. So I'm not going to fill in the whole thing there, but as you can see, I've left some gaps where they need to fill in their own instructions, their own what you need, their own extra tips, everything like that. So that's completely up to them how they want to do that. And again, I would do one of these sheets a day. I wouldn't do them all at once, just to give them that little bit of extra time to get used to this style of writing. For the next day, it is a blank how to trap a sheet. I've left the lines, I've left the structure there so that they don't, again, think that they just have to do it all on a blank sheet, because that can be intimidating sometimes. So what I find helpful with my class is I take back this sheet, and using either post-it notes, or you can reprint it and they can draw some things again, but it just helps them picture the story in their head. So I often get post-it notes and just stick it over the wolf, and then they change it. But in this case, I don't have post-it notes with me, so I'm just going to show you quickly what I would get them to do. Is I would cross out the wolf and redraw whatever creature they wanted. Same with the food. So if you want a sack of food, maybe they wanted a sack of magic. If they're doing a unicorn, maybe you don't need sneaky footsteps, maybe you need to be quiet, or whatever it is. But just let them change it themselves. This way they can really picture it in their mind before they start to write. So then when they are going to write their own piece, let them have their pictures, let them have their edit, and then they can start to write their own piece about how to trap whatever animal they want. And then the structure's there for them, so it's not too intimidating, and they can pretty much do it by themselves. So I hope that's helpful for you for teaching children how to write at home. If I can be of any more help, please let me know. Otherwise, hope everyone's keeping safe, and chat soon.